Thank you very much.
Pero ang dami pa rin.
Now addressing the
Thank you. Before I give the floor to my colleagues, I'd just like to acknowledge the other resource persons that are here. No? Hindi ko na po iisa-isahin yung mga USEC nyo. Secretary, just call on them if they will assist you in responding. No? But for the other agencies and corporations, Attorney Teston, representing FDA, Dr. Maria Teresa Coinigo, Director General of PITAC, welcome. Dr. Joselito Feliciano, Philippine National AIDS Council, welcome. Attorney Rosalina Bascao, National Nutrition Council, congrats for the award mentioned. Baka iba sa inyo may award, iyabang nyo na lang pag tinawag kayo. Yun lang ang binanggit ni Secretary. Dr. Avelino Aventura from the Heart Center, welcome sir. Dr. Jubert Benedicto, Lung Center, welcome. Dr. Dante Datur and NKTI, welcome. Mr. Amir Gamana, DOH Audit. O, special pa siya. So, siguro may tanong tayo dun sa audit. Yun na ba yun? Yun na ba yun? I didn't forget anyone.
That's the hip.
Oo nga, ba't si PCMC wala sa listahan ko? Did I miss that? Wala. Kasalanan ng staff ko yan. Dr. Cecilia Gan. Hello, welcome, ma'am. So anyway, based on our rules, the officers will can take the floor first. Our chairperson said he will listen first and like me will ask his questions later. So Senator Risa, you have the floor, followed by Senator JV, and then Senator Tulfo, and then Senator Aquino, provided that there's no other officer that arrives. So Senator Risa, you have the floor. Roughly 5 minutes. I'm quite lenient and you're the chairperson. So dagdagan naman natin yung bagong chairperson nating health. Gawin nating 7 minutes. Tapos hindi naman ako nagbibilang. Kung sa last hearing natin, ikaw pa nagtanong sa akin kung may extra time. Sabi ko, di naman ako nagbibilang. But just in the interest of accommodating everyone, that's the only reason why we have these time limits. Go ahead, Senator Risa Ontiveros, our chairperson of the Committee on Health.
Madam Chair, thanks so much para sa extra rice. I'd like to raise questions related to budget items, first under the DOH and then maybe in my second round under PhilHealth. So una po sa Cebu Quake Emergency Response. Madam Chair, my heart goes out talaga po with prayers to all those affected by the Cebu earthquake, including in the provinces beyond Cebu province. As we respond, let's prioritize immediate medical aid, mental health support, and access to essential services to help families rebuild and heal. We stand with you, no, ating mga kababayan. Your health and safety are our utmost concern as we deliberate on DOH and PhilHealth's budgets today. So, in light of that recent earthquake centered in Cebu, may I ask, Secretary, ano po yung agarang tulong na maibibigay ng DOH sa mga health facilities natin na nasira?
So actually ang Health Emergency Management Bureau, which is one of the line items in the DOH OSEC budget, has what's called a QRF. We're one of the few agencies with a quick release fund. So DSWD, I think Defense and us have the QRF. So the QRF is, I think, half a billion, 500 million. And what we use it for occasions like this. But unfortunately, may limit siya. Kasi the QRF parang it can be used for emergency purchase, like yung sa Masbate, tumawag yung president, nasira yung mga medical equipment, pinapa-emergency purchase ko para magkaroon ng monitoring devices and matuloy yung services sa hospital ng Provincial Hospital of Masbate. And then we also use for the commodities or medicines, like I'm sure because it's an earthquake in Bogo, there will be many fractures kasi nag-collapse yung roof. So, mangangailangan po yan, Senator, ng mga bakal, operasyon. So, I've actually asked our PhilHealth president to issue a similar issuance that we issued during Typhoon Haiyan, wherein all of these patients will be covered on a no-balance billing with PhilHealth para pati yung mga casualties sa earthquake makapunta sa private hospital and then matreat sila. And then depending on the reports, what happens in a massive earthquake or like Typhoon Haiyan magnitude is that we can take over, the DOH is mandated by law to be able to take over all health facilities in the area to operate it. Ginawa po natin to for 6 months in Typhoon Haiyan. So we'll look at Bogo. If the hirap na hirap talaga yung LGU, ite-take over namin yung provincial, and then we will get our teams from the 83 hospitals to help support essential services. We'll also, now that you reminded me, I will be sending and deploying a mental health psychosocial team from our National Center for Mental Health. Meron na kaming specific team na mapapadala. So the key is mobilizing them. Yun ang mahirap, ma'am. Sometimes we have to coordinate with the Office of Civil Defense, who coordinates the C-130 that will bring our team there. But the resources are available. We also have a stockpile for health emergency it's based in Pampanga, in Clark. So we have a stockpile of all the medicines needed for the common disasters we see every year. And then we have parang framework contracts with some suppliers para mabilis agad meron supplies ng mga medicines na common after each. Meron kaming unique. Things you need for earthquake are different from things you need after a flood. Yung mga earthquake, more of surgeons and wounds. Yung sa floods, more of mga infectious diseases and all that stuff. So yung packaging magkaiba. But definitely, yung floods, mga water, sanitation. And then, mostly mabilis lang siya. Ang problem namin in an earthquake is if damage ang mga houses and buildings, matagal sila sa evacuation center. Kasi housing has to build muna temporary housing before they can return. So nasa temporary shelter yung mga nasiraan ng bahay. So ito yung mga unique problems namin based on the earthquake. Malakas, ma'am, 6.7 intensity, and Bogo that's almost 7. That's almost probably 7 in there. So yung church, nakita ko yung video, bumagsak yung ano nung church. And then itong madaming casualty is an ongoing basketball game. Parang sa gym. Bumagsak yung roof ng gym. Yun namang major summary ng nasanay na ang DOH because together with DSWD, we're with the Office of Civil Defense in response. So food and shelter ang DSWD, medicines and healthcare and psychosocial support ang Department of Health.
Maraming salamat, Sec. Kahit sabi nyo summary lang, medyo extensive na rin. And although heavy on the short term, at least naglalatag na rin ng parang medium term responses, either for or in partnership with the local health facility. So lalo na po yung sinabi nyo, medicine, equipment, ito out of your quick response fund, commodities, even I think I heard you say something about beginning to repair roof of health facilities that fell. Malaking bagay po yung immediate na partnership nyo with PhilHealth na ma-extend yung ZBB pati sa mga private facilities. And also interesting yung sabi nyo ginawa nyo starting from Yolanda na pwede kayong mag-take over ng facilities for 6 months as needed para i-assist yung local facility to really get back on their feet again. And yung essential services in partnership with 83 other hospitals, mental health, salamat sa pagbibigay agarang pansin na rin doon. Ayun, so psychosocial support with OCD, the transportation, air transportation, yung access sa stockpile sa Clark, including the medicines, and also the medicines from yung ka-contract, ka-framework contract suppliers ninyo, surgeons. You mentioned matagal sa evacuation centers pag post-earthquake. So I hope DOH is also maximizing yung partnership with DSUD or other housing key shelter agencies within the OCD network aside from DSWD. So para po ma-optimize yung impact ng buong menu na ito ng agarang tulong sa health facilities, meron na po ba kayong initial assessment at bukod dito sa QRF, may naka-allocate na po bang pondo for yon additional emergency repairs or temporary health service continuity in addition to what you already said? At what other contingency mechanisms does DOH have in place? And most importantly, reflected na po ba sa budget na ito?
So meron kami, well, usually for the initial response, MOOE ng hospitals ang ginamit. When I made Vicente Soto, Cebu South, and Eversley respond early this morning, they used their own MOOE muna. And then, sabi ko kung anong kailangan, yun na yung i-release. We will tap the QRF fund. So as of now, and then we also had a message from Secretary Pangandaman for the agencies kung maubos yung QRF, pwede daw kami mag-request ng additional. So as of now, our remaining, we have allocated 200 from 2024, 300 from 2025, pero sa dami ng mga nakaraang mga disaster at calamity, 166 million na lang po yung nasa QRF na magagamit ko ngayon dito sa two responses na kailangan natin, yung sa Masbate at sa Bogo. So malamang manghihingi ako kay Secretary Pangandaman ng additional, especially for Bogo, because mukhang matindi yung allocation doon.
Madam Chair, with the indulgence of,
Yes, Madam Chair, Senator
I just want
Erwin
to
would like to interject.
with the indulgence of Senator
Yes, Madam Chair.
Dr. Erbosa, may mga kumakalat po sa social media yung mga bangkay ng mga namatay sa Bugo, nandiyan sa harap ng ospital. Parang hindi ko maganda tignan no yata. Baka pwedeng pakisabihan po yung mga hospitals nito not to display those body bags. Ano pang gagawin na? Bakit to kailangan pang ilagay sa harap ng ospital yung mga body bags? Alam ko hong mga nire-retrieve pero baka pwede naman ho, not in full view of the public naman po siguro. Baka pwede pagsabihan natin sila na itago-tago po kahit paano. Ano po? Mas maganda siguro yun, Sec.
Of course, ma-affect ang mental health ng ating mga victims doon sa area when they see. Usually, we allocate a morgue that is far away from all the response. Pero kailangan din kasi they're all together kasi maraming naghahanap ng relatives nila. For example, may basketball game or gym. If the victim is unidentified, madaming relatives na humahanap. So they all put together in a morgue-like place. Kita ko yung picture na sinasabi nyo, nandun sa harap ng all the body bags. They're all covered naman. The cadavers are covered, but they're also put there for the purpose of looking for missing persons. You look for the missing persons in the evacuation center, then you look for them in the morgue. So magpapa-allocate tayo ng special area na hidden. I agree.
Thank you, Secretary. Thank you, Senator Antiveros. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Erwin and Madam Chair. Opo, I also received those photos from my political officer of the Visayas who was there early this morning. So, and batay po sa initial assessment nyo, Sec, how much more in additional request will you be making to the DBM?
I will wait for what we call an early, quick and dirty assessment of the situation. Usually we're able to do that within 24 hours. Anyway, meron pa namang pera. We'll use whatever money we have. But based on how prolonged the evacuation will be, I mean the displacement of our citizens will be, then we will need to support. That have been added. There will also have an incoming storm, Paulo. I hope it's not in the same areas where we already have disasters because that's a double whammy. So this is climate change. Sunod-sunod yung ating typhoon. So I do hope hindi dun sa same area para hindi makadagdag.
I really hope so too, Sec. We all do kasi talagang napipilitan talaga kailangan mag-step up yung buong OCD and with DOH in there. Sige po, ngayon sumisigaw pansin ang headline ng Philippine Daily Inquirer. 400 out of 600 health centers of DOH unused. So may I know po, how do we justify spending billions on health centers when 400 out of 600 remain idle? Isn't it a failure of planning that we built hundreds of facilities without pa pala doctors, nurses, or equipment to run them? And who is accountable?
Thank you very much for this. You know, in 1992, we devolved healthcare So dati, all the health centers were under the Department of Health. So kami nag-staff ng tao dyan, ng barangay health worker, ng midwife and everything. But after the local government code was passed, the health centers are passed on to the municipal mayors. And it has been a practice for the past several years to actually support that through a budget in the DOH. So nalalagay ng ating mga legislators yan. That's a list I get. Sometimes I agree, not planned, but out of they are built, and then eventually what happens is we sign an MOU with the local chief executive, not the congressman, the local chief executive. The local chief executive will agree to the fund that after it is finished, they will hire doctors, nurses, midwives. And our study of the past 10 years, 10 years naman ma'am yung nasa headline na yan. So hindi naman yan 1 year. 10 years of support, about 200 billion pesos of funds to what we call primary healthcare centers, barangay health station, rural health unit. Malaki na rin after you accumulate 10 years. Sabi ko nga, 10 ospital na mapapatayo ko dyan sa 200 billion if ever. And we also lack beds, hospital beds. So, pa-analyze ko to because nangyari nga itong flood control. So I was looking at, meron ba kaming mga ganyang projects sa Department of Health na hindi nagagamit. Ngayon, pati even agriculture saying some of their farm-to-market roads are not true farm-to-market roads. So ni-research namin to, and we've tried to solve some of this through the National Health Workforce Support System. Kami na nagpasweldo nung nurse, doktor, midwife, at dinideploy dun sa municipality. Ito yung nangyari, no? I think this is one of the good things because we were funded in the GAA also of personnel na announced ni President Nunsona na for the first time, all municipalities have a doctor. Ito yun, kasi dati doctor to the various programs siya noong time ni Secretary. Tinuloy namin yun, nadagdagan ng nurse deployment, nadagdagan ng midwife, nadagdagan ng iba't ibang health. So ngayon, it's now called the National Health Workforce Support System. This is for 4th class, 5th class, 6th class municipalities. I have so 60% are lack of human resource, 30% are delayed construction, so kasalanan ng contractor na pondohan pero hindi natapos. Ito yung mga walk away, nanalo sa bidding, kinuha lang yung amount, tapos mag-uumpisa ng konting poste, tapos aalis na. And then we're stuck with the problem. And then 10% are DPWH. So there are some, the local government wants the DPWH to implement. So hindi kami na-implement. So yung sa DPWH, ang problem is permit to construct. What's nicer about health facilities is we are stricter than, let's say, a school. Kasi a school, they just build on their design. Sa amin, the contractor has to show the detailed architectural and engineering designs, which is up to the licensing for the facility. So dahil sasubmit pa yun sa amin, bibigyan namin ng permit. That's the only time they can construct. Sometimes, may pondo na pero hindi nagsasubmit or pinababago yung some modifications to fit the licensing. And then when they finish it, babalik uli yan sa licensing namin para i-license siya as a health facility. Kailangan up to standards. So, sabi nga sa akin, ayaw gawin ng ibang contractor kasi daw manipis. So you understand already when I say what is manipis. So because we are very strict with how it will be built, kailangan built up to specs. So ang problem namin really 60% is really the lack of healthcare workers hired by the local. And this is coming from the income of the LGU kasi. They have to hire the municipal health officer, the public health nurse, the midwife that will work in the health center.
Madam Chair.
Well, yes,
May I interject?
Senator, Madam Chair, Senator Bam would like to
With
interject.
the indulgence of Senator Ontiveros.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Secretary, nabanggit po yung walk away. Ilan po yun? Kasi it sounds like a ghost project to me, no? Ilan po yung walk away na sinabi ho ninyo?
30% delayed or no longer alive. So what happens there is we actually terminate the contract,
Okay.
and then with the remaining amount, we try to finish the contract.
To find another
with another
contractor.
contract.
So hindi naman ho itong mga walkaway, hindi naman to completed projects, no?
Yun ang cost na kaya nakatayo pero hindi magamit.
Sorry, so just to be clear, usually that's just 30% ang nabayad sa contractor yung una. Diba kasi may
Mobilization lang.
mobilization lang po. That's 30%, right?
Yes.
So in your records, hanggang 30% lang po yung nabayad dito sa mga walkaway o meron po bang completed?
Meron iba progress billing.
Yes.
May iba kasi pinahanap ko rin yung mga contractor na present ni Presidente. Sabi ko, meron na bang ginawa? So may nadiskubre ako, isa na bayaran na, pero hindi completed. So
Oh.
meron din ako nakitang,
So there's a similar modus po na nakita po ninyo.
I had to inspect. So nakakita
And
ko.
to be fair,
Pero
this is
hindi
over
itong-
10 years. This is
Yes,
over 10
yung
years.
itong sinasabi kong nakita ko, 2020.
Okay.
Sa 2020
So, you're saying ho na there was a facility na merong contractor na bayaran siyang kompleto pero wala pong nabuo na
Tapos.
facility.
Nabuo naman pero hindi tapos.
Hindi tapos.
Hindi tapos
So,
kaya hindi rin magamit, hindi rin mabigyan ng
pero
license.
nabayaran.
Yes, nabayaran. Doon ako na.
Sige po. I think the committee needs to see more details about
Yes.
this, Mr. Secretary. Thank you
I'm
po.
also investigating this now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just one last follow-up on that. Are you pursuing legal action against those walkaways? Kasi naabala din nila kayo na magdi-deliver sila 30%. I mean, their contract is to deliver the whole thing. So even if you did not overpay them, you did not overpay, even though they did not receive full payment. So in other words, 30% paid for 30% work. That was not the contract.
Yes.
So by law, ang contract nila is ikumpleto mo yun.
Correct.
Nila yun. So can you just give us me a quick answer and then a detailed report na ilan yan? Kasi they're not allowed to walk away. There's no such thing.
May liquidated damages din, ma'am. So kung minsan naghihingi sila ng bill for yung natapos nila na hindi pa bayad kasi progress billing yan. So may liquidated damages. So if they are delayed, merong 2 or 3 times from the deadline of the contract, may liquidated damages. Yun ang ini-impose namin.
Pero
The liquidated damages.
So you're asking for liquidated damages when they walk away and they don't complete it. Lahat yun may liquidated.
Oo.
As in court case, or I mean, well, you don't have to bring them to court if they're going to pay.
Ano ba yun yung
Sige, you have to give us a report on that.
Yes.
Kasi hindi pwedeng by choice nila, huwag na lang natin tapusin. May mas magandang project, may mas malaking project. Di tayo pwede ng gano'n, Secretary, ha?
Madam
So,
Chair,
give us a detailed
pero
report.
para lang po hindi mapalampas, there was one case, at least one case, where they were fully paid.
Yes.
And
that's
yet,
very clear.
hindi ho natapos, no? Could our audit, since he's here, could our audit give us more detail about this? If that's okay to
Sige, let's ask Senator Risa lang, no? Because
Yes.
this is her time.
Yes.
Is it okay with you that we
Yes.
proceed with this first?
Yes, sure,
Issue
Madam
lang?
Chair. Actually, I also have a question for
Okay.
COA if
Sige.
we follow
Okay.
this.
Go ahead, please reply.
Good morning, Madam Chair. For COA, this has been an issue also. So nag-i-issue kami ng audit observation for this matter. So the thing is, marami talagang mga hindi natatapos na mga projects. May mga idle po. Gaya ng sinabi ni Secretary Ted, ay ito po ay dahil sa kakulangan ng manpower. Ang iba din po is
Siguro before you go to the manpower issue, no, that is a serious issue. I think the question right now is on the infra. Kung meron kayong mga findings
meron
na
po.
hindi natapos yung infra, but valid yung sinasagot mo, pero next pa yon.
Yes, meron pong mga infra na identified kami na hindi po nagagamit at natatapos po. And the action made by the management is terminate lang nila yung contract. There are also issues regarding doon sa, for instance, in the central office, we identified na may mga hindi natuloy na mga project because yung phase 1, for instance, ay hindi complete or maayos pagkagagawa. Kaya yung panibagong contractor, hindi niya po tinatapos ito at inumpisahan. There are also issues on the titling of the properties.
Sorry, Madam Chair, the question was yung hindi natapos pero binayaran ng kompleto. Kasi naintindihan ko kapag hindi tinatapos tapos tinitigil mo yung pagbayad, di ba? Ganun naman talaga. Then you take on other action. But Secretary Herbosa was mentioning a case na nabayaran completely pero hindi naman tinapos yung proyekto.
We will, hinihingi po namin yung details dito doon sa specific project po kasi this covers a lot of projects from different regions. Possibly po, ang hawak po namin is mostly nasa central office, centralized, pero yung po sa mga region, humingi po kami ng data. So maybe the Secretary
So you
could
don't
give
have that
us the
data?
specific details.
You don't have that data?
We will check on the matter, data sir, nasa likod lang po, hinihingi namin. We'll go back.
Balikan ka
Yes po.
namin mamaya pag na-check mo para
Madam-
you can
Madam
give us
Chair,
a more
with
complete
the
report.
indulgence of Senator Ontiveros again.
All right,
one
Senator
question
Erwin,
lang po.
Madam Chair, bago ko balikan yung
Secretary,
COA.
ito pong nang pangyayari po ito, naimbestigahan na po ninyo, right? It's coming out now. Tama po?
Only because there was a list of contractors
Opo.
pinalabas ang presidente. So sinabi ko sa mga regional director, meron ba tayong mga ginagawa ng mga yan? At yun nga, sumulpot
Meron po
sa
ba doon sa mga listahan na binigay presidente ng mga kontraktor na gumawa ng mga health centers natin, mga infra ninyo?
meron po. At yun nga yung na-discover ko yung isa.
Isa pa lang.
South na
Isa pa lang po.
na isa dun sa mga sikat na imbestigahan at
Okay. Last question, Senator Ontiveros. Sir, do you think may collusion dito, kagaya ng DPWH, na ilan sa mga opisyal ninyo maaari sa regional level, provincial level, may collusion, may sabwatan dun sa kontraktor para sa gawa ng mga projects na ito, Secretary?
Yan po ang aking conclusion din. Kasi kung ang engineer na nag-inspect from our side, binigyan siya ng clean bill na completed, mababayaran siya. Kasi hindi naman mai-issue kung hindi bibigyan ng inspection na clearance eh. So, yun ang side ko na iimbestigahan ko. Bakit siya nabayaran kung hindi pa completed? Dapat yan progress billing po, Madam Chair. So,
Ilan po yung mga ganito, sir? Ilan po ang mga infra ninyo na hindi pa completed pero binayaran na or hindi talaga nagawa at all?
Wala pa akong figure, no, pero I can do I can study that kasi nga marami din sila yung mga delayed. So of those na delayed, parang nakukuha din ng audit. Sometimes it's the audit that will tell us during our exit audit. Kaya sabi ko, and then nababalikan namin siya. So like
Thank
here,
you.
we have 7 significant audit observations for the HPEP. So yun ang tulong sa amin to actually fix all these problems.
Thank you, Senator Ontiveros.
Salamat, Senator Erwin. Of course,
Madam Chair,
Mr. Chair,
Just to
Madam Chair.
join the conversation, I saw a COA report 2024 and ang number of contracts na non-completed on time is 123 contracts. Ang value nitong contracts is about 11 billion pesos. So ibig sabihin, 11 billion pesos ginastos pero hindi tapos yung projects. So ganun kalaki, Secretary, ang perang nakabinbin.
So ang nangyayari dyan, iba-ibang mga projects yan. That's a total. Ang hinanap ko lang was primary care facilities in the LGU. So may projects din kami in the hospitals of DOH na buildings that are run, and then there are also delays. Nafi-fix naman yan, some of those, especially COA reports, which is a year after, naaayos din namin with negotiations. Usually, pick up yung arbitration na napapag-usapan, and then dyan namin naaayos. But definitely, we don't get our value for money kasi nga, delayed. Sometimes, after makita mo yung delayed, when you try to fix it, mas mahal na uli kasi it's another different year na. Naka 2 years na yung...
Ang punto dito, Secretary, 11.5 billion pesos nakabinbin siya eh.
Yan.
Hindi natin magamit-gamit. Whether you go to pick-up, arbitration, that will take a lot of time.
Yes.
So, because of, I would say, sama-sama nito poor planning, lack of coordination, poor execution, na ipit yung 11.5 billion. So, ganito na lang, just submit to the committee yung details nitong 11.5. Kasama na dito yung super health centers, kasama na dito yung iba-ibang facilities. But then again, no, ang punto ng mga senators is na ipit yung pondo natin worth 11.5 billion. Thank you. Thank you.
We will do that, Senator.
Let's give the floor back to Senator Risa. You have 2 more minutes.
Salamat, Madam Chair, at salamat, Chair. So, Secretary, importante yung sinabi nyo, we don't get our value for money. Minsan kasi a year later pa malalaman. Baka pwede pong i-consider ng DOH yung nag-emerge sa Blue Ribbon investigation na there are categories of projects, short-term, medium-term, permanent, semi-permanent, and I forget the third category, covered by warranties or bonds na dapat pwedeng mag-collect ang gobyerno pag hindi na fulfill yung specs dun sa kontrata. By the way, pangalan nung sabi nyo may isa kayong nakitang contractor dito sa mga non-operational or walk-away health centers na nandun sa list of 15 ni Presidente. O alin yun? Which one?
Diskaya, ma'am.
Diskaya. Which company of theirs?
Ano lang?
CDOT.
Saint Timothy.
St. Timothy. Okay, so these groups, these people are all over the place. Very well noted po. Follow up po, Madam Chair, sa COA. Ano ba yung parameters sa barangay health centers, sa super barangay health centers, at sa kahit sa bukas for finance or performance audits? Hindi pa kasi malinaw sa ngayon eh. Kaya yung 400 out of 600 na non-operational daw, paano i-audit yung ganon?
Actually, Madam Chair, Senator Intiveros, sa amin po sa COA, we do conduct compliance and financial audit. In the case of yung sa mga local po, meron po tayong assigned auditors doon. They provide observations or possibly kung meron mga issuance of notice of suspension, disallowance, they also provide this. But mostly po dito sa amin, we do conduct compliance audit and performance audit as well.
Pero sapat na po ba yung parameters para makumpleto yung audit at ma-feedback dun sa DOH at sa Congress for that matter?
Actually, usually I can speak on my behalf no because may mga local auditors po tayo at saka corporate auditors tayo. In the case of the national government auditors, kami po, we have this kind of planning. Sa planning namin, we identify those things na kailangan i-focus namin. So kagaya nun, we conduct compliance audit po. Tinitingnan namin yung mga nangyayari po sa mga kagaya nun, mga projects na ginagawa na infra, and we provide measures. We do recommendations and value-adding recommendations to the agencies so that they can properly implement the program or the project.
So at this point in time, meron na ba kayong rekomendasyon sa DOH?
Marami.
Paano ma-audit yung mga non-performing health centers
This
na
has
yan?
been an issue from previous years. Paulit-ulit naman po siyang nangyayari at palagi po namin kinocall yung attention ang Department of Health about this. So we always recommend them. Marami po kaming recommendations po. Sila po yung hindi naman po alam minsan hindi nagagawa po yung mga recommendations, but basically in my case I can speak on behalf of the national government auditors. Nagkakaroon po kami ng exit conference, doon po na pag-uusapan kung ano yung mas magandang dapat gawin ng department po, and sila po yung sa implementation, and then pag hindi po nangyayari yun or natutupad yung mga dapat na ginagawa ng Department of Health for instance po, ay nag-i-OM pa rin po kami po ulit, at if possibly po nag-i-issue na po kami ng suspension and disallowance.
Yun, you mentioned exit conferences kanina.
Yes.
Ba't hindi nagagawa ng department yung recommendations ng COA?
Meron nga, nagagawa namin. So for yung isa findings is poor planning, no? So sa poor planning in 2023 na nakagawa na kami ng Philippine Health Facilities Development Plan. So the idea of this, kasi some of these mga projects are insertions, ano? So when they come to us, we see the land is not ready, hindi siya talaga na plano. So ngayon, ang ginagawa namin, hindi siya pwedeng ma-insert sa budget namin kung wala siya dun sa Philippine Health Facility Development Plan. So pinagawa namin lahat ng region ng plano on ano yung mga kailangan itayong facility sa inyong lugar, hospital, health center, super health center, para kailangan nandun sila sa approved health facility plan. We had one approved in 2023 and ang ginawa namin, sinabit namin to kay Executive Secretary at pinirmahan ng Presidente as an executive order of the Philippines. So this is one way of trying to make sure may planning. Kasi ano kami during budget eh. Biglang aabutan ako ng listahan ng isang legislator and then lagay mo to, build mo sa aking mga district. And then makikita na lang namin yan sa GAA. And then, hindi naman nabisita ng regional, tsaka pa lang bibisitahin. Pag nasa gaso, madidelay na yung project. At makikita, yung titulo, medyo defaulty. Yun, another amount of money na sasayang. So we try to put some controls by making sure nasa Philippine Health Facility Development Plan.
Well, even now, Secretary, Madam Chair, nag-initiative ang Senate under the Finance Committee under our chair. Paano talaga gawing mas open, transparent, and accountable yung budget process para proper lahat ng mga proposed amendments, including dapat based on or related to sa mga development plans ng iba't ibang mga departments at mabawasan hanggang ma-eliminate any improper insertions. Pero proper lang ang ano. Maybe, Madam Chair, in my next round, I'll follow up. Parang may disconnect sa sinasabi ng DOH at saka COA kung talagang nai-implement yung recommendations nila in terms of auditing, lalo na dito sa mga health centers. So I'll just follow that up in my next round. Salamat, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Before I give the floor to the next senator, no, I'd just like to add to this discussion. In the in the findings on this whole corruption issue involving contractors, included in the top 15 contractors, number 1 is this Legacy Construction Corporation, and number 11 is Royal Crown Monarch Construction Supplies Corporation. So itong si Legacy in 2021 had a 107.5 million project and 15% completion pa lang as of now. This is for Southern Philippine Medical Center. So can you check on that, Secretary? Maybe you can give us an update later on. So 2021, 107.5 million. So apat na taon na, 15% pa lang, Southern Philippine Medical Center. This is a very good hospital. So I'm sad for them kasi they're very productive. They have foreign funding. They help a lot of patients, specifically kids. So I'm really sad to hear this. And then regarding Royal Crown Monarch, and ito yung bulungan namin ni Chairman kanina, 3 projects. Project abandoned for contract termination. Napakaliit lang naman, 3.6 million, 3 barangay health station. So kung ganun big time, I don't know kung pag-aabalahan nila yung 1.2 million, haka-haka ko lang, baka naman napasa na yan or subcontracted. Kasi 1.2 million, i-abandon pa? I mean, but again, ako as a lawyer, I am trained not to assume things. For all you know, may valid reason yan. Baka naman yung lugar na kung saan inumpisahan yan, delikado pala. There are valid reasons to terminate a contract. So I will not prejudge. I will let you get back to us if possible to inform us within the hearing time, no? Okay.